Welcome to week 15 of the DB Sport and Scale SE5a quarter scale build. This video is a slideshow with a voiceover of some pictures I took while building it. Day 99. I put in fastenings for the cowling. One wooden pin in the back and 2 pieces of wood in the front. The cowling is then held in place with 2 screws. This plane has exhaust tubes along the sides. I made them from electric conduits and some balsa wood. I will have to make some brackets for the exhaust tubes. The cowling uncouples from the exhaust tubes when it is removed. Day 100. The coaming around the cockpit is made of leather, but I could not find a suitable bit of leather and had to do with imitation leather. I started by slitting a piece of fuel tubing and fitting it to the edge of the cockpit. Then I cut a strip of imitation leather and fitted it with eyelets. Here I am stitching the leather to the cockpit edge. It is done with a so-called saddle stitch, where you have 2 needles on the one string and thread them in opposite directions through the same holes. Then, when you pull the string, it holds the leather quite well. This is a time-consuming job, and I could not quite finish today. Anyway, it looks extremely good on the model. Day 101. I finished stitching the cockpit coaming. Then I devised brackets to hold the exhaust tubes. I cut 6mm strips from a 0.6mm aluminium plate and fitted them to the tubes. Then I split the 2 legs and used one part to hold the tube firmly and the other to act as legs, which I screwed to the fuselage sides. This sounds very complicated, but actually it is really simple. I painted the dummy headers and the exhaust tubes with scale black, sort of charcoal color. This looks fairly convincing and will improve when I remove the masking tape and give it a coat of varnish. Day 102. The windshield can now be inserted with thick CA glue. And since everything else has been inserted, the pilot can now be glued in place. I went to Akureyri, the next town, and got the staff at the local fab lab to assist me in making the pulleys for the wings and the tail. These were quickly designed and then laser cut from acrylic plastic. Here are the bits for the pulleys, 4 for the wings and 2 for the tail. Day 103. This morning I began by painting the parts of the pulleys. Then I cut out the frames for the wings and tail windows from thin aluminium and clear plastic. Day 104. I assembled the pulleys. They are now ready to be glued into the spaces made for them. I painted the niches for the pulleys in a dark green color to make them less obvious. I glued the clear plastic to the inside of the frames before fitting them to the model. I made sure the clear plastic would fit over the niches. This one, according to the markings, is for the left upper wing. And now I can put the frames on and screw them down with tiny screws. Day 105. The pulleys have now been inserted in the wings and the clear plastic attached. Here is a lower wing with the frame screwed down with tiny screws. When I'd finished the lower wings, I had run out of screws, so I put double tape under the frames to hold them in place, and then faked the screws with droplets of glue. Here is the fake control cable on top of the top wing. I made the hole in the covering with a soldering iron. The cable just plays in the hole and is not attached to anything inside the wing. This is the last video of this series. I may post one last video when the model is flown, so until then I thank you very much for watching.